first things first, my platform. If you don't know, my platform was wholeness, addressing the mind, body, and the soul. Oh man, when I created that, um, I thought that I was whole, and then I realized I'm pretty broken. She said, I want to know everything. I'm so sad that you weren't able to make it. I'm upset that you didn't try out because I really felt like you would have been amazing. You can definitely try out for 2021 though, because when I see you, I see a queen, boo. Um, but yes, so I realized that my wholeness, my brokenness is a part of my wholeness, because the only person who can make me whole is Jesus. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's the truth. I don't know how many times I've been broken and he has completed me and made me whole. So that's my platform. My slogan goes, if you address the battlefield of the mind, you nurture your spirit, and you cater to your body, then and only then can you be made whole. And that is still true today. So that's my first thing. So a question I've been asked was, what was my favorite part about the pageant? Or shall I say pageant process? Honestly, it would have to be, so we would meet once a month, all the girls, and I competed against some phenomenal women, some very phenomenal women. It was just a blessing to be with them and go through life together. We all had our struggles. Not a single person was in there and didn't have issues or wasn't going through something. I mean, some of these women, I'm definitely going to do a Tuesday talk with like each one of them so you can hear their stories, but they overcame so much. Like, to tell you a little bit about my story, you already know. But at the beginning of this pageant, I was going through a divorce. Still going through it. It will be over next week though. And initially I wanted to quit. Like, I remember telling the director, I found out my grandmother had just died, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm going through a divorce. My mind's not where it used to be or where it needs to be. I'm broken. And I remember I disappeared off the face of the earth. I really did not want to compete. And she looked at me in my eye and she was like, there was a girl last year who was going through the same thing that you're going through, and she made it pretty far. Don't give up. And I was like, okay, I don't think I can win this year. Like, if y'all would have caught me, 2019, 2018, and a few years prior, things would have been different because I would have had a lot more confidence in myself. But okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm not going to half-ass do it. So I did it, and I'm so glad that I did. So my favorite part, again, was being with the girls and getting to know their stories and actually creating a sisterhood in a bond. Yes, at the end of the day, it's a competition, but if you know me personally, I'm all about relationships. Relationships over everything. So that's very important to me. So that was my favorite part. The least favorite part, just certain things I didn't necessarily agree with how things were ran. But that's, and in the aspect of leadership and being under authority, you have to submit to it, even if you're not fond of how certain things are done. So there's certain things it just didn't make sense to me. I'm not from the pageant world or from the modeling world. So there was a lot of ideals and a lot of things that were like questioned for me. I did my experience with the pageant, and now I know that things are a lot different, and I had to adjust and accommodate, but that was really hard for me. So I would have to say the least favorite part is the fact that this is a pageant and this is not modeling. And that's like one of the number one things that critiques, literally, like the director was like, she was like, no, you're walking wrong, you're doing it wrong. And I was like, dang, can I ever do something right? She's like, you have to understand, this is not runway. This is pageantry, okay? This is not fear, shut it down. This is elegance and beauty. So yeah, that was my least favorite part. Another question I had, and let me go ahead and check these off. What would you do? Okay, so another question I have is, what would I do differently? Oh man. So in the pageant process itself, like, cause I'm not sure if y'all know, but this started off in, we started off in October. originally our pageant was supposed to be in May, but COVID happened, so it was in August. So I can tell you from October till the day of the pageant, I wouldn't do anything differently. I would continue doing what I did. I think I did pretty well. However, I would do pageant day differently. Again, coming from the modeling world, I have my own ideals. Coming from a modeling world, I have my own ideals. I have my own perceptions, and I was humbled pageant day. The former queen, she tried to give me tips on certain things. She tried to, and I was like, it's okay, I'm gonna do it this way. It's okay, I'm gonna do it this way. And it almost cost me the crown. So, those of y'all who are gonna end up watching this later on, who are interested in doing Miss Full Figure Pageant, listen to your mentors, listen to your leaders, listen to your director, okay? Because they know a little bit more than you do. I'm humble enough to say that I was wrong. So that's what I would do differently. I would try to think, instead of thinking, okay, well, they're going to see my amazing personality. No, they really don't see your personality. I have an amazing, that's one thing I know is I have my amazing personality. There's not enough time for them to capture your personality. If you want somebody to know your personality, that's when Miss Congeniality comes in and everything else that the judges have no part of. For example, I got the award for Rising Star. That came directly from the director and the former queen. So that was taken into consideration. But that's not the thing that takes you to nationals. That's not the thing that gets taken into consideration when it comes to the pageant. Or at least that wasn't the case for me with this. So that's definitely something I would do differently. So going forward, when I go to nationals, hey Leslie. So I only got 2 people watching right now, but y'all go follow Leslie. Let me tell you something. I'm just gonna I'm gonna put my crown to the side right now. Homegirl is a full-blown beast, okay? She is serving our country and she's doing it with so much elegant poise, and she's just rocking it. I mean, she's a natural. I love her, okay? Fangirling over here, okay? I love Leslie. She's amazing. And her birthday coming up. But anyways, let me get back on topic. So yes, going forward, I am for nationals. Now that I've did the preliminaries and I've made it and I've gotten my crown, I know during nationals, there's no time to waste. There's no time to play. I'm taking all the notes that I got during the pageant process, everything that I've talked to about, that I've been talked to about when it came to the preliminaries. So I definitely, going forward, I'm going for that ultimate crown. And now I feel like I have a leg up from when I did before because I went through the process of how kind of like not to do it. What's another question that I got? How does it feel? It feels amazing. You know, I know, Leslie, you're just now you're just not coming to it, but I was telling them at the beginning, you know, I did not want to do this pageant. Like, I started wanting to do it, but then that's when my life went to crap. I started going through a divorce. My grandmother passed away. My uncle passed away. I had another pregnancy loss. So I told the director, you know, I just can't do it. I'm not myself. You know, like I disappeared from social media. I'm like, how the heck am I going to win if I don't even have a platform out there? And I'm glad that I stayed. I'm glad that I stayed. I'm glad that she convinced me. There was several times where I wanted to give up. So it's a humbling experience because there was a point in time where I didn't think that I was going to win. There was probably like one day where I was like, oh, you know what? I think I could. I think I got this. But again, pageant day, I was humbled like no other. But it feels amazing. I truly, in my heart of hearts, I believe that the reason why I won wasn't to just put a pretty face to a crown, but it was literally to talk about my experience, share with my wisdom, and advance the kingdom. This is what God has placed on me. This is the mantle He's given me. So now that I have another platform to go under, the platform that I already have is definitely giving me the opportunity to do what I feel like God has placed on my heart to do for so long. So I'm very grateful for that. Another question I got was, were you always confident? Kind of addressed this earlier. So when I first applied, yes, homegirl was confident. I was this, I was that, published commercials, I'm a model. And then, like I said, my life fell apart. That confidence went away quickly, but it's great because it kept me humble. So no, I wasn't always confident. And one thing I would tell people all the time when I would do my Transparency Tuesday talks, which I'm starting back again, the pageant kind of get in the way, but this is a Transparency Tuesday talk, was the fact that you know, I take beautiful pictures. I'm a model. My background is in broadcast journalism. If there's one thing I know how to do is fake the funk in front of the camera. So I tell people in my Tuesday talks all the time, look, I know y'all see this confident, beautiful woman, yeah, empowerment, yeah, but life still happens. And I don't want to give the perception that you have to live a perfect life in order to live a good life. And I think that's important, especially when social media, we have all these people, you know, we're showing our highlight reels. And I mean, aesthetically, it looks amazing. As a creative, I appreciate that. But I also want my followers to understand and know that life happens. It does. I went through this pageant process from October till now, and I'm still going through it. So it's going to be a whole year, 2 years. It's going to be 2 years. I mean, this pageant process. Life is going to happen. Don't want it to happen, but it doesn't negate the fact that it's going to happen. So yes, wasn't always confident. I want to remain humble always. Another question I got was I nervous? Pageant day, I wasn't that nervous initially because I was like, I got my outfits together. I got this, I got that. And then I saw my competition's outfits. And it just started to sit in. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is really happening. Yeah, I got nerves to the point where when I was walking on stage, when I had to give my my introduction of who I was, when I was doing my gown, when I was wearing my swimsuit, the dance is actually where I was able to relieve some stress. But when I was doing that, literally, this is me. Lips twitching, eye twitching. I had so much adrenaline. Wow. And you know, the former winner, the former Miss Full Figure Georgia 2019, she was like, when you get out there, the first one, you're going to have, you know, nerves. Your lips are going to twitch, but the second round, you're going to be good. So here I come in the second round, and I'm like, okay, it's going to get better. And I really felt like it got worse. And another thing that's also humbling is that, at the beginning, the judges give you your scores. So at the time, I ended up getting the lowest scores out of everybody. That really humbled me, and actually I kind of got fearful, but I was like, you know what, no. I might have started weak, but I'm going to finish strong. And I ended up coming up, so it worked out. But I know at first I was like, no, this ain't nothing but the enemy. I had the lowest score, like I was just, oh my gosh, it was so. And thank you for the compliment on the dance. That was actually a group number produced and given by Miss Morgan, Flower Child. We're going to be doing a lot of things together, but I actually did a solo. I did a contemporary solo, and I haven't posted this video, if I'm honest, because I don't like to see myself dance. Okay, let me take that back. I do like to see myself dance, but I had been out of dance, like professional dancing, for like 3 months because of the pandemic, so I'm judging myself based on where I know I can be versus where I was that day. So yeah, maybe I'll muster up the strength and actually post my video. I will definitely post pictures of my dance, but I don't know if I'm gonna post the video just yet. We're gonna have to see. I'll see about that one. And the last thing was any advice. So my advice is come in humble, leave out humble. Not false humility. Don't think that you got it, because God is quick to humble the proud. And be yourself, you know. And I'm actually glad that I'm closing with this. There was a point in time, I think, in the middle of this competition, I talked to a really close friend of mine that I dance with, and she was like, you know, I see your beautiful pictures, but I don't feel like it's you. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I mean, I see beautiful photos, but, you know, people don't know exactly what you're going through. They don't know that you're actually struggling. All they see is perfection. And I was like, well, you know, there's certain areas of this pageant where, you know, I have to, you know, present myself in such a way. And she looked me dead. Well, actually, she was on the phone, but I felt like she looked at me dead in my eyes. She was like, do you want to win, or do you want to make a difference? Because one might have to cost you the other. And when she said that, I was like, I consider myself to be a humanitarian at heart. Though I would like to win, I would like to make a difference. And if anything else, I want to win with people knowing the real LaDoshi Dior Holman, who's called Doshi Dior. So that's when I started to pour out my vulnerability with Tuesday Talks. I started to pour out my vulnerability with my posts, with my pictures. So I would have a pretty picture, but have a deep caption. The only reason why I took some steps back in my aggressive nature to how I wanted to express myself is because the divorce had gotten very mentally taxing. I went through a very, very hard loss with losing my uncle, and COVID, when it closed everything down as a creative, it took the best parts of me away. So I didn't even know how to communicate. Like, I did a great run with TikTok, and then my uncle passed, and I didn't feel like I could create. I didn't even feel like I could express. So yes. So that is the end of my Transparency Tuesday talk on my experience with The Crown. Aleda, do you have any questions for me? And I would also like to add, as confidently as I am talking to y'all now with public speaking, that definitely wasn't the case when I stepped onto the mic. When I stepped into the mic, when I had to introduce myself and what my platform was. But by that question, though, when they asked me the question, it was smooth like butter. And I did post the questions. I'm not sure if you saw it, but the question was, what do you expect to get out of Miss Full Figure Georgia, out of this pageant? And I just sung it from my heart. I expect to get exactly what I put in: hard work, perseverance, dedication, grit, and to win the crown. And I was able to just say that verbatim because that was something that was in my heart from the very beginning. We had a list of questions that we could go through, and we could be out of 15, so we could be asked any one of them at any time. That one was the one that I felt like was meant for me. And another symbolic thing is, it was the number, it was question 7. I'll never forget when I pulled it out, I could hear my mom in the background. They were like, question number 7. My mom was like, wow. So anyways, that is my talk. Thank you so much, Aleda. Thank you. I'm proud of myself too, Pat. Now it's your turn to be the next Miss Full Figure Georgia. Talk to you soon. Love y'all. Oh, and this will be on my live. Well, it'll be on my IGTV, so love you guys.